Town Boulder Fire would have been the trend, and you could have then easily been able to see.
I like going live, I have no problem with it, but it's just another thing that you have to sort of add into your day. You try to get this package done and then expect me to go out there and go live. It's like, oh, well, try being a one-man band and then having to do that and then go out to go live. So it's really, it's a little bit more difficult now, but, you know, we do it. We do it.
I truly do believe that. I think it's not just for Element, but for anybody in the profession. I think it's a great time. And again, not just within the U.S., but as we roll international as well. This is Dan, by the way, if you don't know what Dan Element looks like. He just turned 90 this summer. I will tell you, the one thing that he said and reminded us all to do is that, you know, it takes work. It takes a lot of hard work, and this is not going to come easily for any of us. But I think if there's, you know, if the past 10 years are any indication, I think that not just for PR, but for all of us as professionals, no matter what we're doing and what field we happen to be chasing or pursuing, it's a great time to be here as long as you work hard and stick to it.
This is what I'm talking about, the U.S. Constitution. Not necessarily because I teach media law, but because as a naturalized citizen of the United States, the U.S. Constitution is always inspiring. Of course, I pay a lot more selective attention to the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. I am talking about 45 words of the First Amendment to our Constitution. Especially, I pay more attention to the 14 words of the First Amendment to our Constitution. Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech or of the press. Each and every word should count. There is no such a thing as a redundancy in our Constitution of 4,543 words.
I'm still waiting on final edits for my story. Can I go now? And she read it. I put that on Twitter. So whatever personal information, whether you're griping or you're happy or your friends are putting out twit pics or Facebook pics that you don't want people to see, I mean, you have to do a lot of self-censorship. And no, for me, that's my personality. My editor knew me, so we just kind of chuckled it off. Like, okay, well, are you done? Can I go now? You know? But be wary of what goes out there because people will see it.
I've thought twice about deleting something. Like, I do think that there's something to be said for protecting your family and even protecting your employer, your customers, of course. I mean, you should delete things that put those things in jeopardy. But there's also something to be said for honesty and transparency and a little bit of vulnerability. Just anecdotally, a friend of mine in San Francisco posted on Facebook this weekend that his relationship just ended, and I honestly think there were something like 50 Facebook wall posts within an hour of like, you know, get through this, it'll be okay, and that to me is really fascinating, and obviously that's free expression on both ends.
I started writing a personal blog in April of '07. I had no idea it would get to be as popular as it is. But it's now a really important part of my ability to communicate with citizens and with my own employees.
You know, Twitter, Facebook, what have you, they are everywhere. I mean, Nebraska Watchdog, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, try to get our stories out in a variety of ways that we can. We have email alerts, tell people when there's a new story coming to the website. So all these things we are certainly aware of, and I'm every day I'm fascinated by what's coming next because you can't keep track of it.
Once you've made your music in your basement, can you get your music out there? The thing that's happening most recently, and that's the here and now, are the outlets. Well, we have our traditional outlets for our musical creativity.
Looking back 10 years where we were, I came into this world looking at collaboration technology. And 20 years ago, we took collaboration technologies into the field and demonstrated that when we put people together to do a creative effort together, we could often reduce their project cycle times 50 to 90%, and we could get a higher quality product, a higher quality deliverable from the effort than we were getting using more conventional means. And for 10 years we worked on improving the technology. So about 10 years ago we finally noticed that other people couldn't produce the same effects we did using the same technology. And it turned out that there was a whole lot about collaboration. It wasn't the tools that we had, It was what we were doing with the tools that was producing these effects.